Implementation. Sudhanshu, Mittal, is there an assessment today, 8 days later? One of the things that the opposition has repeatedly raised, even in Parliament today, is what about the big industrialists, the rich people? They're not standing in line. The people who've invested their money in Benami properties, in jewelry, and other assets. Now, are those people going to get away, and ultimately people with legitimate cash going to suffer, as we're seeing happening right now?
Nidhi, it was a very perverse argument which was sought to be propounded. You have an economy which is cash economy, and you have legitimate instruments of checks, drafts, RTGSs, credit cards. All these are tradable. Now you are saying, no rich people are there in the line. Okay, they have enough resources not to want to change 4,000 rupees. So if they have their credit cards to pay from it, fine, they're paying for it. Issue is what? The issue is whether this country should fight corruption and black money or not. The country is fighting black money, the country is fighting corruption. The problem with the opposition is they have been caught unaware, completely off guard. The Congress is the largest, the most vocal critique of what is happening. Naturally, if all the money which has been accumulated over years of corruption has suddenly become churan ke note, now there is bound to be a reaction to the loss, the so-called loss of wealth, which was so hard, which was collected with such hard labor.
But
See,
Mr. Mittal,
when a child is born, you undergo labor pains.
But Mr. Mittal, the statistics tell us that actually, in terms of black money, it's actually only 5% which is cash, and the rest of it is Benami properties and other assets. My question is whether, until you target the Benami properties, until you go after the people with the real, big amounts of black money that have been stashed away in assets, is this going to be, in a sense, a futile exercise? That's the question. Will the fat cats get away? That's what we're asking.
Nidhi, for acquisition of any asset, what is it that you need? You need money. So the fountainhead of any corrupt money or black money is liquidity. Is this liquidity which is used to create assets? Now it is a strange argument. The issue is if it's only 5% of the total size of the economy in terms of the demonetized notes, which is 14.5 lakh crores, then why is everybody so afraid, and why is everybody so vociferously against it?
Well, Sunil Jain, I just want to bring you in here because you've been writing extensively on this, and you have talked about the short-term and the long-term economic...
I don't know, are you going to give me time or it's just going to be a small monologue? I've heard everybody, you've just ignored my perspective.
No, you've not been ignored, Mr. Mittal. Everyone's getting a fair chance to speak.
Which has been, no,
there are only 4 panelists on this show, not 10. You see the recording and then you realize that it wasn't
fair. Anyway, let me now speak. Now let me speak.
You don't have to yell at me, Mr. Mittal. You have your opportunity. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Now, you want me to speak, I'll speak, otherwise I will not.
It's up to you. Please go ahead.
It's up to you. You decide.
Mr. Mittal, you're being asked a question. I don't understand why you're so touchy. I'm asking you the question. No, I'm just trying to give everyone a fair chance. You're actually wasting time arguing with me.
After such an... Allow me. After Sunil, I raise my finger because he's made points. I need to rebut them.
Go ahead. Mr.
After Sachin, you don't allow me. Now, okay, now let me come down to this. First, there are two sides. There are two sides of the story. One is as we stand today, and what is subsequent. Sunil ji, you must realize that this measure is about what exists today. You have heard the Prime Minister saying a lot of other things are coming. Before knowing what other things are coming, being skeptical and being preemptive in dismissing any subsequent move, I don't think it is fair. The issue is what? The issue is if the cancer of corruption and black money has to be fought, you cannot persist with the status quo, which has been happening for last decades. You have to make a beginning. You have to start. And where do you start from? You start from the source of all asset building, which is liquidity. You have stuck at the root of the corrupt and the black money. Now, who's going to get affected? People who have legitimate money. When you talk about the poor, you talk about the middle class, they have legitimate money. And there's a long window which is available to them for getting this money converted, by depositing this in the bank and subsequently withdrawing it, or over the counter. So when this window gets over, believe me, all people who had legitimate money would have encashed this. The problem
Mr.
only
Mittal, everybody doesn't have a bank account. The Northeast, look at the Northeast, it's largely cash driven. People don't have bank accounts. You know, and even the Jan Dhan accounts,
you have not
more
been
than
to Northeast.
around 25% of those are empty. I'm just saying, what about those people who don't have accounts? What are you going to do about that?
Those people who do not have accounts will find ways to get this money converted over the counter. And they will also open, because it's a 50-day window, they'll open their bank accounts to ensure that their money is safe in their hands. So that's not the issue. This is, there are going to be problems. When a child is born, there is labor pain, no two opinions. But the Prime Minister has a resolve. He has a resolve which is not political. It is national. He is not bothered. I just heard what will be the consequences of the elections which are bound to follow. Nothing matters. Whether we win, we don't win. It is a national cause. It's a national ill which had to be corrected.
So you agree that it's a political risk?
Absolutely determined with this.
So you acknowledge that it's a political risk that's been taken?
There is no, as I said, you take a political risk if you are looking at political dividends. The Prime Minister is not even looking at the politics of it. I am reminded of a sher. This was Majroor Sultanpuri who said, "मैं अकेला ही चला था, जाने में मंजिल, लोग जुड़ते गए, कारवां बनता गया." You have seen how people have reacted. They say, yes, we are inconvenienced, but we are happy that a beginning has been made to fight
not
the corrupt.
Everybody is saying that,
people
Mr. Mittal.
who
It's a mixed reaction.
Not everybody, but there are enough people who say that
well,
also.
There are enough people also upset about it.
If the system...
I'm only asking let me just take, you made a very important point. The last question to Sachin Pilot on this. Mr. Mittal says that when you have to give birth, there will be labor pain. You have to make a beginning somewhere, Sachin, and it's never going to be easy. Is that a fair point?
I think the beginning could have been made by BJP, which is the ruling party, to have declared how much money it spent in 2014 Lok Sabha elections and how much money they're going to spend in the UP elections, have a third-party audit as to how much money they will be spending.
As should the Congress
I want to make one point. Absolutely. I said let them make a beginning. State funding should have been the first thing.
You have not submitted your accounts till date.
You are in government. You have to have a large heart. You have to lead by example. We'll all follow you. But please make a beginning.
The Election Commission has received our accounts and has not received your accounts.
I didn't disturb Mittal sir. I didn't disturb you when you were making your elaborate point. Please let me finish. I want to say that if you want to eradicate black money, 1,000 rupee notes aapne band kar diye. Then why do you have to start 2,000 rupee notes? And why is there no preparations for this program? If a woman has to give birth, then she also has to be in a comfortable position to give birth to a child. You can't dump her on the street and make her, expect her to have a healthy baby. You have to nurture that. You have to, ATM machines, banks, credit loans, the printing facilities, none of it is in place. And even now, people are running helter-skelter. And let's not forget, you said people will find ways to open bank accounts. But what about poor people who can't read? There is now an industry flourishing in Rajasthan where people are charging commission to change money. Illiterate people who can't read are being duped for their money. 500 ka note leke unko 200 rupees log de rahe hain. So all this is happening and the government should have been much more prepared than they are today.
Well, we're going to revisit this issue again tomorrow when the Lok Sabha will also probably be debating this issue. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Still lots to talk about, including how Sachin Pilot made that point at the end. There are loopholes that people are looking for and trying to find in order to break the rules and convert their black money into white. So the question is, how long can they get away with that? Will they be able to get away with that? We'll revisit those questions tomorrow night as well. Thank you to you all for joining us. Goodbye.